Right. Yay. Happy Tuesday. And thank you for joining me today in the studio. My name is Wendy Lee, and I am coming at you from CreativeLeeYours.com. Fun paper crafting day today. We're going to have a little bit of fun with watercoloring. Yay. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So we're making a beautiful card today. So I'm going to switch the camera over in just a moment. But before I do, you need to know today is free shipping day. Yes. So you get free shipping on all of your Stampin' Up! Product purchases. So be sure to click on the links to add supplies for today's crafty project and get your items for free shipping. Yay, that saves a lot of money, I think, right? Free shipping day? Who doesn't want free shipping day? All right, I'm going to switch my camera over and we're going to get started. Yes. All right, what are we doing today? So today we are featuring a few products from the Rustic Harvest Suite. This is the suite that we are featuring for our All-Star Tutorial Bundle this month. So we've got the Hello Harvest stamp set that I'm using and the coordinating dies, of course. And then gotta pull in a little bit of this Rustic Harvest designer paper. So pretty. I love it when they put black and white designs on the other side because you can do so much with it by coloring it in or just use the colors as they are on the designer paper. So here is our fun project that we are making. This one right here. It's so much fun. Lots of fun watercoloring. And guess what? This one is a gift card holder. So you'll be able to slide your gift card right down in here. So that is kind of a little bit of a fun fold as well. So let's go ahead and get started with our crafty fun. Hey, Connie and Jennifer. So glad you guys are here today with me. Okay, so as we are doing our craftiness today, I do want to tell you, besides free shipping, which is awesome. So all your Stampin' Up! Product purchases, you can get free shipping as long as your order is at least $75 US. So if it is $75 US or more, then you get to enjoy dun, 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 free shipping, which we love, right? Okay, so that clarifies that. I'm going to start off with some Mary Merlot ink here, and I'm going to stamp Mary Merlot on Mary Merlot cardstock. So I'm bringing in this lovely sunflower image. So I'm kind of making my own little designer paper here. Let's turn this. I want a little bigger scrap area. So I'm just going to stamp this down, do another one. You could twist it and turn it. You could do whatever makes your heart happy. That's what I'm doing right there. We will close this up. I'm going to go ahead and clean this because I am going to switch ink colors here in just a moment. And we are going to stamp this with black StazOn. So I'm going to clean that Mary Merlot ink off first. So now I've got this lovely, see it? Love it, love it, love it. So I'll move this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. So a couple other things that are going on right now is Stampin' Up! Just started today a promotion where you could join my Diamonds demonstrator team, which we would love to have you. We have such a great community, and they've offered, this offer is great. It's $155 in the product of your choice for just $99. So it's a really, really great deal. So if you love getting your hands on things early, we get to pre-order some product. I'll show you a sneak peek in just a little bit that's going on right now. And so you could add that to your starter kit, or you could pre-order it yourself once you're a demonstrator. Entirely up to you on how you want to go about this. Okay, so I am pulling in a layer of Mossy Meadow. This is 8.5 by, I think it's 4 3/4. I will put the complete supply list with all the measurements in the video description after the video. The way I go live, YouTube doesn't allow me to populate that when I go live, but I can do it after the fact. You'll just have to expand. A lot of people don't know that you can do the see more, show more, and it will expand the video description and you can see more information. So, all right. So I'm going to score this at 3.5 and 7. So let's go ahead and do that. Super easy and simple, but this is going to create my little gift card pocket. So go ahead and fold on our score lines and make sure we're nice and square. So yes, if you've got questions on how to join my Diamonds Demonstrator team, just let me know. Leave me a comment, send me a note. I'm happy to answer any questions. I do offer a lot of fun perks for my team. They get pretty much any class I do, they have access to for free. So they get all my tutorials, they have access to my card club, my paper pumpkin group, all kinds of special things. All right, so I'm going to take this little bitty swirl image and I am going to stamp in the upper two corners of this white layer here. Okay. Just adding a little bit of decoration to it. All right, and then we're going to, let's see, I've got a piece of vellum. So I'm going to adhere this to a piece of vellum. We're actually going to do the inside before we're doing the outside, but that's okay. Whoops. Okay, this isn't working. So let's pull in my silicone craft sheet. Just run your stamp and seal right on that silicone craft sheet, and it will run again. And lay that right down on that vellum layer. Love that. All right, so now I am going to add some adhesive just where that white cardstock covers that vellum, because I don't want to be able to see that through to the front. So we're going to layer this right on here. And I'm looking at kind of between this score line down and these two sides. I'm trying to get those three sides even. It doesn't matter on the bottom, because what we're going to do is we're going to fold this up and create a pocket. So I'm going to use Stampin' Seal. You can use Seal Plus. You can use tear and tape if you want something a little stronger. You can use liquid adhesive if you prefer. That's entirely up to you. I think the Stampin' Seal is sticky enough for this that I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm just going to give that a good rub, make sure that's down good. And now my gift card will fit right down into that pocket. So this piece here is going to be our actual card base, or not our card base, but our card front, I guess you could say. So I'm going to adhere this piece of designer paper right to that front flap. So just cover the whole, look, it did it again. I'm having trouble with this particular cartridge. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but it's not a big deal. You've got your silicone craft sheet, which makes it nice and easy. All right, so let's go ahead and adhere this right on the front of that layer that we created just a moment ago, where we added that little stamp strip. So beautiful. And I'm just going to center that. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, next, let's take, I've got a die cut label. So this is, let me look, Designer Tags dies. So this is in the annual catalog. I don't know if you've seen these yet. And I've used this label right here. So pretty, lots of great things you can do with this one. And I am going to pop this label up on my vellum layer. So I want to do that next. This way I can see where my adhesive needs to go, where my adhesive needs to go. Woo, not saying that well, am I? I hope you guys are having a good week so far. It was a rainy, crazy weekend with that hurricane that came through. So we didn't have power and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's so good today to see the sun shining. I'm glad to see that. All right, well, you know what? Let's use liquid glue. That'll be easier than trying to run Stampin' Seal over the top of dimensionals. That's not the easiest to do. So I've got my adhesive only where my label is going to cover it. And then I can lay this right on the front of my card. Doesn't that add such a nice soft touch, adding that layer of vellum? I love what it does. So pretty, so pretty. All right, now we've got to do some stamping and watercoloring. Got lots of good stuff coming. So let me bring in some shimmery white cardstock. So I love this. It's got a shimmer to it already. I've had a lot of people ask me which is the front, which is the back. They are the same. At least in my opinion, they are the same. So it doesn't matter which side you stamp on. They're both shimmery and they're both fabulous. Now it's called Shimmer White, but I'll tell you, it's not quite white. And it's not vanilla. So it's kind of an in-between, I would say. So I am stamping this image with StazOn black ink. Oh, I didn't get a good image there. Let's try that again. This is why we love, there's two sides to the paper, right? And hopefully I do better this time. I just know I have to push a little on that side. Yes, much better on this one. So I need two images in my sunflowers. Okay. And then I want one image in the banner. So let's bring in this lovely, wishing you the loveliest day. So we're going to ink that up really good with our StazOn. right? And we will stamp that right down there. Yay. All right, so it worked. Now I'm going to take a moment off on the side. You're not going to watch me do this, but I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamps. So stays on. I'm just using the regular scrub and mist, and I can bring it in. You can see it. It's not a big deal. But I do want to clean these right away. I don't like to let stays on stay on my stamps because it stains them. And I will tell you, I feel like it leaves a little bit of a residue that makes them not stamp as well. Now we do have a special stays on cleaner that you can use if you leave the ink on it, right? Like it'll stain and you need to get that ink off. There is a stays on cleaner, but I use regular scrub and mist for the most part and only pull out that stays on cleaner when I truly, truly, truly need it, right? It's just on an occasion. I don't need that actually very often. Okay. So now we want to watercolor these. So one of the reasons I love shimmery cardstock, other than it's shimmery, right, and beautiful, is that you can watercolor on this, and it does a little bit better than regular white cardstock, right? So regular white cardstock, if you get too much moisture on it, it's going to pill. It's going to tend to not accept as much water. This is going to accept more water, but it's not as much as like a watercolor paper. So it's kind of an in-between, right? All right. I want to use some Merlot ink, so I'm going to squeeze the lid down. Not enough. Let me try again. You can tell I've been doing a lot of watercoloring with this. These newer pads, you got to, well, I got to give a bigger squeeze. All right. I don't want to break the pad. Yeah. All right. We'll do it multiple times if we need to. All right. So I've got my ink pad and I'm bringing in one of my water painters. I've chosen the finer tip. You don't have to do that. You can do a wider tip if you'd like. See if I've got a little side napkin or paper towel somewhere stashed. I see one. It's a used one, but that's okay. I want to make sure that this has got some liquid in it. I'm going to put a little bit of water in the lid here and blend this because I don't too much color at once. So much easier to add color than remove color. So what I'm wanting to do is put a little bit of a wash over this label. So just going to add a little bit of color. I am not worried about being outside the lines. I am going to die cut this, but it's okay. All right, so I've got a little bit of a wash in there. Now I can go in and add just a little bit more color wherever I want it. So a little bit more at the bottom, over on this side. I'm going to skip out here, kind of blend that out a little bit. And I like to move around because you want to let it dry a little bit as you go so that you can lay in a little bit more color, right? So now I can come back here and I can add in a little bit more color because it's had a moment to dry and it won't just bleed out to nothing. So I can do that here as well. Blend that. So you can color as long or as little as you want. Let's add a little bit of dark right here. So you get the gist of what I'm doing, right? All right, so you keep going until you're happy with your look. And then you're going to die cut this out with the coordinating die. So let me bring that back in. So this die right here, we're going to go die cut that banner. And I've got one that I added quite a bit of color that's dry, right? So I've got that element. I'll put that aside, and then we're going to do a little bit of coloring on the flowers as well. So I'm going to bring that Mary Merlot back in since I got it right here, right? And I'm going to add, I'm just going to color on one of them. And I am going to add a little bit of that pink right in the middle of those little flowers. How cute is that? Just adds a little pinky color. Color this flower a little bit. And again, you can go back and add additional color and get a little more depth in it if you'd like to as you're coloring. And I could come back and add just a bit more, make that a little darker at the bottom. Little dots in the center. Super cute. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so let's switch colors. I am going to move into Early Espresso. Now, this is an older pad, so it's easier to squeeze and get a little more in the lid. Now, if you don't have all the ink pads and you love watercoloring, you can use the re-inkers as well. You don't have to use the ink pad and the lid. You could totally use an ink drop. You could also color with our markers, not the blends, but the markers onto one of your clear blocks. The reason I say not blends, blends are alcohol based, and they'll actually color the blocks versus laying, kind of a palette down. So if you use a Stampin' Right marker, then you can lay out a little color on a block and use that as your color palette as well. So you've got lots of options for ways to access the ink colors. Today, I'm just using the lid here. All right, so I just colored those flowers. I probably shouldn't have done yellow next because I want to let that dry a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and lay in just a light yellow on the petals here. Just going to blow that in real quick. We'll do all three of those flowers. So I mentioned with our starter kit special that there's a pre-order going on. So one of the awesome perks of being a demonstrator is that you get to get your hands on products early. And we have a new release coming out. I believe it'll be available to customers in November, but we get to pre-order it now. I'm going to give you a peek. I only have a flyer. So it's called Fitting Florets, or Florets, however you want to say it. And so there's a beautiful collection, and it's got a bundle with these great frames. I can't wait to see these. These are little gold embellishments. I don't know if you can see them. There's a seasonal stamp set as well, which is gorgeous. And then some fun designer series paper. So it's kind of Christmassy, but you can use it more than just Christmas. So I love that it plays both ways with the prints that are in this. So it's really, really nice. So if you love to get your hands on stuff like this, this is the time. You can add that to your starter kit. If you need information about that, let me know. Okay, so I've let the petals dry a little bit, and now I'm going to come back just around this center where I've added that brown, and I'm adding a little bit darker of a yellow just to kind of highlight that a little bit, a little more depth. It's going to pop off that page a little bit more. All right, perfect. Looks great, or at least I'm happy with it. I hope you guys are liking it. All right, let's move to Mossy Meadow. I got a lot in the lid on this one. Crazy, right? I don't need near that much. So I'm just going to pull in just a teeny bit of that ink because these are really small leaves that I'm coloring, right? I'll hold this up in just a moment so you guys can see it a little closer. So again, I'm coming in and laying in just a light ground of color. And then I can always come in and add a little bit more depth if I want to. Dealing with really small petals. So fun. All right, now I want to add a little more depth to some of these leaves. So I'm just going to come in. I'm picking up a little more color in that darker pool of ink I've got right here. It's not as watered down. And just adding in a smidge more on some of these leaves, right? So cool, right? Fast, easy. You can get a lot of depth. So we can play with this for a very long time if you want to. I'm going to stop. We're going to call this quits on our watercoloring. So once you've got both your bouquets colored in, then you will bring in the coordinating die, right? This floral right here. Just run that through your die cutting machine. And now you've got your beautiful floral images. And they have that little sparkle because they're on that shimmery white paper. So fun, so fun, so fun. All right, let's go ahead and build this on the front of our card. So here was our example, the first one. We're just going to duplicate that. So first I want to go ahead and put down this floral bouquet right here. So I'm going to use some dimensionals because that's what I want to do. You don't have to pop your layers up if you don't want to. If you like your cards a little less height, right? A little easier to mail them sometimes if you don't put as much height. You can choose to do that. So I'm just going to lay that right there. Now I want to put my banner on there as well, and I am going to pop it up. I'm only going to put my dimensionals in the center section because I want to be able to play with this a little bit on how I've got my layers stacked. All right, so I want to kind of slide this up under here a little bit. That's okay. kind of slide in there. Maybe it's a little too high. No, I kind of like it. I got more white space than I did on the original one down lower, but that's okay. So now when I go to put this one down, I can choose to tilt it if I want to tilt it and cover up a little bit lower on this section. Now, before I do that, I want to put in my silver trim here. So I am using the Simply Elegant trim, and I'm going to use quite a bit of trim. I want a multi-layered bow. So I'm pulling off, I'm going to say 10-ish, 12-ish inches, and I'm going to do 3 of them. I'm not measuring, I'm just eyeballing. I tie a lot of bows, so I kind of know what I need for my hands to work with it. So that's something that you can figure out over time as you tie bows. All right, so with all 3 together, I'm going to make my loops, right? I'm going to crisscross. If I can get them, a set is going to go down. I'm going to make it and come back up through that hole, and I'll pull that tight. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And I like that it's going in all crazy ways. So you can just pull this tight until you're happy with it. Now you could do the little thing where we pull the legs and tighten the bow and pull the legs and tighten the bow until you're happy with how it sits. I'm going to kind of pull it out into a pretty large looking bow. And then I am going to, that's a pretty good size knot. I'm going to plop that right down on there with a glue dot. Let's see how this works out for us. I might need a couple. So let's see if I can pull off a couple little glue dots and see if we can. I'm going to put it right in there. See how this works for us. Okay. You guys liking this one? I hope so. So now I can lay this little grouping of florals right on top of that. Now, because that's a pretty chunky set of trim that I put on there, I think I'm going to double stack. I'm kind of playing with my spacing. I might move my trim down just a smidge because I really want this floral to cover up some of this white space down here. So, you know, I think I'm going to slide this down just a bit. Let's see if that's a little bit better. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. What do you guys think? Still covering up a little more than I wanted it to over here. Maybe I'm going to move it down even more. Let's see if we can get those glue dots to come with it. Whoa, they did not want to come, I don't think. I might have to add a few more in there. I think I've lost my glue dots. Let's grab a couple more. Can't have too many glue dots, right? Why not? Okay. And then now let's check ourselves here. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better because now I'm seeing the loops on both sides of it. I think it looks a little nicer. Okay, so I want to double pop this up because I've got a lot going on right here. So I'm just going to kind of keep my finger here. I know I want to put a dimensional there. So I'm going to go ahead and double stack those. I need to make sure I don't put a dimensional where that knot is going to be, right? But I want this side to be nice and secure. So I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals. So you got to take the backing paper off between the layers, right? So that's where this is going to go. Now, I also know that I want a couple out here, right? To keep that nice and secure. This is popped up once, so I don't want anything over the top of that label. But let's see how this does right here. Kind of liking that. I'm going to put that down. Now, I got this over here. If that doesn't actually bother me, but if that does bother you, let's go ahead and stack in a couple more. So I'm going to pull a couple of dimensionals off my sheet here. I'm going to double stack them, pull off my backing paper, and then I'm going to use my take your pick to kind of slide it in where I want it and just kind of tack that right down. So now that's nice and secure. You know, if you needed some in some other spots, you could definitely add them, but I don't think I need any more. I love it. Now, if you wanted to fray this out a little bit, you could fray that out, running your fingers down the twine or the cord a little bit and kind of fray that out. That gives a fun look as well. So lots and lots of prettiness here. Could we add some gems? We sure could, but I really like it how it is. I think it's very pretty. and you've got a nice gift card holder spot here. You could add a layer up here if you wanted to be able to write a little bit more. You know, I didn't add a sentiment on the inside. You could. So it really depends on what you want to do with that. Okay, you guys like it? Love it, love it, love it. I think it's fun. So much fun. Okay, the other thing I want to make sure you're aware of, so you guys know it's free shipping day. Yay, free shipping, free shipping. So all your products that you order from Stampin' Up, you can get free shipping on as long as your order is at least $75 US. So I will have the complete supply list, so you can just click on the items you want to add to your cart and put them in there to recreate this project. I'll also make sure that I have the cut dimensions. I was playing with the metric version, and I'm struggling a little, I will tell you, getting these layers worked out for this pocket. So that might take me a few minutes to add that one in, but I will definitely add that in. Oh, hey, David, you're so funny. My neighbor's in. Yay! Too funny. Oh, you love the oval dies? Yes, you ordered yours this morning. Jean, that's awesome. That's on. So Jean's referring to this fitting florets bundle here. So these frame florets have the ovals, or at least I believe that's what she's referring to. So that is the second big thing that we've got going on, is there is a new starter kit special, which means you can enjoy a discount on all of your Stampin' Up! Products. You can join my Diamonds community and get your hands on products early, like that fitting florets bundle. So if you've got questions on that, please, please, please reach out and I will help you get started. Last thing I want to make sure you know about is registration is going on for our Makers Mojo event. So we have Makers Mojo later this month. If you're not familiar with that, what Makers Mojo is, it is a collaborative event. There's 5 of us that have joined forces, I guess you would say. So it's myself, Anne Marie Heil, Audra Monk, Joe Blackman, and Melissa Kerman. And we get together and it's 2 days of crafty fun. It's 10 live presentations. Oh my gosh, so many alternate projects. So we each do 2 different presentations and we show so many alternate samples. It is a fun, fabulous day. I learned so much every time we do it. It is a good, good time. And then of course, prizes, lots and lots of prize giveaways as well for our guests that join us. So registration's going on now. You can find that on my website under my events tab. I'll add a link in the video description as well, so you have that. But registration closes October 20th, so get in. You don't want to miss out on it. All right. Thank you all again for joining me today, and I hope to see you again next Tuesday for some crafty fun. So have a great week. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already a subscriber. Leave me a comment. I'll answer any questions that I might have missed. And if you're not on my email list, get on my email list so you don't miss any of my upcoming events. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great week.